Rainey is
I'm
also
from school. Sorry I'm late.
great. So we'll want to stay and introduce everybody else, but Salvador is here from Greece, and he's here to answer. I had sent out a frequently asked questions that I will go over, but I have asked him to say hello and tell us about Greece and tell us what he's got planned for us, and then most important, tell us how to pay you, because that's the question everybody's asking. Where?
Okay. Okay, what to say? Hello, everybody. I'm Salvador from Greece. Salvador Levi is the whole name. I'm one of the few Jews that live in Greece. We don't have very many Jews in Greece, and not like America, of course. And we have organized here with your rabbi a very interesting, long Jewish tour of Greece. We will visit all of the Jewish communities, ancient, medieval, and modern, and discuss about the history of the Jews, which is very long in Greece. I don't want to get in detail because it's a very long story. Another thing, as we're going, we will be passing from important places. We have not left anything out. For example, we're passing to see Trikala. We will go and see Meteora next to them. Meteora, medieval, beautiful monasteries. We will not get in the monasteries. Maybe it's not of our concern, but the place, the rocks, they're beautiful. So we will have that. We will pass from Delphi. Delphi, the ancient oracle, archaeological site of major interest. It's not Jewish, but we're interested. We're interested in everything. So we have a little thematic also tendency towards the female deity, the goddess. So we're going to focus a little more to the female aspect of God, if I may say it like this, as the ancient Greeks would see it, through the many female deities, of course, as you know. And this is what we have organized. This Jewish, secular, and female divinity.
That was my prescription. He's made it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Salvador, just tell you a little bit about how long you've been, welcome Lisa Ann, how long you've been leading trips and why we should go with you. And I know because I've enjoyed working with you these last, it took 3 months to put this together. He's answered every question. He's made my every wish and whim come in, even though we were in different time zones and different languages. I can't say it was easy. But tell us a little bit about what spirit
Okay.
you'd like to bring and yeah.
Look, I have studied history here in Greece. I'm a historian. To study history in Greece, basically, you mostly concentrate in the ancient philosophers, the ancient life, the ancient Greeks, and a little bit more about modern Europe, let's say after Renaissance. I have a personal passion about the Jewish history. We didn't learn this in the university very much, but I did a personal research very much. And this is what I do. History with a speciality, if I may say that. It's not a master that I took in the university. It's a personal interest for the Jewish history. Now, I opened a business called Jewish Tours in 2012. Jewish Tours is the only, until today, 12 years later, the only travel agency in Greece that does entirely and only Jewish tourism. I don't do anything else. I don't want to brag about it very much, but if one wants to see Jewish place in Greece, we are the company. Seriously and with every respect.
Excellent. Okay, so
we only do that. We only do Jewish tourism. We only visit Jewish places. This is what we know.
So if you have immediate questions, everybody, put them in the chat. And I will, because I'm going to go over the frequently asked questions that I've collected. But if you have any questions, put them in the chat. And if there's anything that I don't recognize, I'll ask Salvador to address it now. I've asked him to explain first and foremost the payment, because the payment is in euros. The reason it's in euros is that he's a European travel agent. So we have to figure out how to get our dollars to euros. It's a little tricky. but he's going to explain it. There are at least 3 different ways, and you'll get all this information you'll get all this information, written out as well. But go ahead, Sal.
Okay, I'll tell you, we tried with your rabbi to keep the costs low, etc. Greece has been very expensive lately. You wouldn't know it, let's say, but in the last 10 years, a little before COVID and now, Greece is being expensive, very expensive. We try to keep the cost down anyway. What we have managed to do is this. If 1/3 of the payment is made, we will separate the payment in 3 different means of payment, right? It makes a difference. It makes a difference in the price, seriously. All this is for your benefit, let's say, to keep the price low so that you will pay less. It's not, the price of the trip for me is the same. You understand what I mean? So what we do, it's not difficult to pay in euro, because if you pay by credit card and will pay the 1/3, I suppose that is the easiest for you to pay by credit card. You just put your credit card and pay 1/3 of the trip. That will be the deposit. Okay, this is best to happen as soon as possible. Maybe in the next month. No hurry, but again, no relaxation, because as soon as I get this deposit, I reserve the hotels, which is the most important for us. To get the price that I have found, to get it in a hotel and not change the prices. One is the second deposit at some later point. It's not exact. I can put some deadlines if you want. It's good to have deadlines, but it's not like until then. If I have reserved the hotel, relaxed. The hotels is my concern. The guides, the buses, etc. In a later time, they can be reserved, and they will never change the price. The price is fixed. My concern. So one is your credit card, 1/3 of the, or even less. We said what? We said 400 euro. We said 400 euro to be the deposit. For me, it's okay. It's enough.
I have all the deadlines and I have all the amounts.
Okay. So we said 400 euro with your credit card, easy. We do it fast for me to start the reservation. Second and third, as you wish, as you prefer, to have 1 or 2 more deposits. Okay. Those 2 or 3 deposits altogether must be more or less the 2/3 of the cost of the trip. Okay. We can, in written text, we can be more exact, and we can send you the numbers to make it even more easy for you. But for now, I just explain. A small deposit for beginning, 400. A second and a third, or only a second if you feel it's easier to just pay and get over it with. And those 3 or 2 or 3 together, they would be the 2/3 of the payment, and we leave 1/3 to be in cash. That is the difference. The 1/3 in cash saves us a 24%. Simple as that. So this is a difference for you, a 24% that you don't pay.
So I actually, I have the deadlines. You gave him a discount. I had a $500 deposit, but
yes, we made it 400 for people that reserve early.
right, 400 for people that reserve early, before August 15th. And so there's 3 ways. So let me just address out the questions in the chat for a second. Let's see. Difficulty walking. So Debbie Kugelman, why don't you, on every trip, I have had people who have difficulty walking, and somehow we have still managed to have a great time. Debbie Kugelman, will you just address this yourself personally? I mean, there are going to be places in Greece where you won't be, that you might not want to take the hike. And I'm going to ask Debbie to just explain her experience.
What I noticed is after the COVID, my stamina has not been the same. So I've been working with a personal trainer, and now I'm going to really increase it so that when we do go to Greece, what I did do is take a walking stick with me. There were certain steps that in India that were very steep. So that was a little difficult. And what I got to do is let everybody go certain places, and I got to hold the space and either meditate or met some really wonderful people just sitting around because they like talking with people who are visiting. So it was a great experience, even though I might not have went the 140 steps up to Infantala, but otherwise I did just about everything.
Salvador, you want to address it? If
Yes, yes.
the places that will be difficult to walk or slower.
Yes. We will have no problem, really. It's exactly what Miss Debbie, can we speak like this? Okay. Exactly what Miss Debbie said. If someone thinks they cannot do it, they sit in a cafe. We wait. I always make alternatives. For example, we are always with the bus, but old cities are on foot, necessarily. They are pedestrian areas. Normally, old cities are not difficult. Someone that walks even a little can do them. Some places will be a little more difficult. For example, number one and most forward, the Acropolis. The Acropolis is a hill. Sometimes it's possible to get up with an elevator. Very many times the elevators don't work. Today, for example, there is a general strike of the guides. This is Greece, what to do, you know. Things are difficult sometimes. But if the elevator works, one can go with the elevator. If it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. We stop in a cafe, we stop, have coffee, and wait 1 hour for the others to come down. A second difficult place is Delphi. Delphi is again an uphill. Not very big uphill, but an uphill. We'll see. For example, another example, I will tell you in Athens that I do the walking tour every day. And we have, like today, we had people that couldn't do it. We do half of it. We leave someone in a cafe. We do a circle. We return. We pick him up. He has rested half an hour. We do another half. So we cut the tour in 3 pieces. And those that cannot walk much only lose one of the 3 pieces. I always have ways to accommodate people. So this.
Listen, I have trouble walking myself, so we're pretty sensitive to this. So Celeste asks, what do you mean by a third cash? Do we give it to you when we get together? Yes, that's there's the first deposit that will be you can do by PayPal, you can do by credit card. There will be a first deposit, there will be a second deposit, and then there'll be the third balance will show up in cash. Is there special insurance? We will all get travel insurance. We can talk about that.
Exactly.
We will
Exactly. There is the
topic.
travel insurance.
Will we explore topics such as the connection between Aristotle and Judaism? That's one for you, Salvador.
Wait, Aristotle and Judaism, how they are connected? Apart from Maimonides? I mean, Maimonides is basically the Aristotle of the Jewish world. Right? I mean, what is the question? What connection is between Aristotle and Judaism?
Well, or will we talk about these ideas? Is that built into the trip anywhere?
It is if there is a question. I will tell you that Greek philosophy is certainly my specialty.
Okay.
We will, yes. For now, I'll tell you sometimes attempt to connect Greekness and Judaism has failed. Okay, biggest. I don't know if you're familiar with somebody that is more famous in these parts of the world and less maybe where you come from. Philo Judean, Philo the Jew, or Philo of Alexandria sometimes. Philo, big philosopher and aristocrat of his time, tried really to combine Plato. Plato was his thing. Plato, Neoplatonism, with Judaism. He didn't make it. It's not very easy. Those are 2 different words.
All right.
If you want, we will get in detail with it.
No, let's not go too deep on the Greek philosophers at the moment, because I know more people have practical questions to answer, but I think he gave you enough, Roberta. One of the things that makes an interesting trip is that if you have an interest in philosophy, between now and then, do a little research and bring it to us. You know, if we're going to see the Temple of Delphi, we're going to see, we're going to learn about Athena. Find your inner goddess even if you're a guy, and do some research on some of the people. If you're, I would love to have that, to bring that to everybody, to bring something that they're interested in to the trip. Deb Barcel wants to know if the buses are air conditioned and what the weather is like in March. Do you want to, can you talk about that for a minute?
Yes, certainly they are air conditioned. There is no bus without air condition nowadays. And the weather is soft in March. There are possibilities that winter continues in March and it is bad weather. There is possibility that spring has entered in March. We cannot know exactly, but in general, the last few years, we don't have very heavy winters. Even if it's winter, it will be soft. If spring has come, it will be beautiful.
In other words, come prepared.
Yes,
Are we
spring.
going to the Jewish Museum in Athens? I believe that answer is yes, correct?
Of course, Jewish Museum, of course.
Okay.
My second home.
Okay. Will you be there for the entire tour? Because I know I've been working with you and Michael, but you do have guides in each of the places, correct?
Yes, yes. It's very probable that I will be your tour leader. The guide be with you always on the trip. Now, I will be your tour guide in Athens and nowhere else. Other places, other people have specialty. I'm happy to say that I'm not specialized in everything. Everyone knows his city. So we'll have fantastic, beautiful guides in Thessaloniki, Hella Matalon, with personal stories from her father that is a survivor from Auschwitz, was a survivor from Auschwitz. And in every city, I'd rather very much than me do the tour, a specialized person to do it. I try them to be Jewish. Always I try for them to be Jewish. Not always this is possible, but most of the times it's possible in Yanina also.
So we have a question here. Akiva and Lisa are interested in sailing. Is there a possibility of adding a 3 to 5 day sailing trip before or afterwards? So we have structured a couple of a post trip, but if anybody is interested in something else, we can always add that on and they can arrange it. But we'd have to have either a critical mass to get a group rate, or they can arrange privately for something else post. I don't think pre-trip, the pre-trip we've planned is pretty good, because what I've learned on the last couple trips is that people like to come early and get acclimated, do half-day tourings leading into the main trip, so that we're acclimated over the jet lag and ready to roll. Those of you who traveled with me before know I like to take a soft beginning, have an intense middle, rest for Shabbos, and then finish with a flourish. So that's sort of the structure that seems to work. Any other questions that you have at the moment, or Salvador? They want to know about the hotels. When will they know about the hotels? What kind of hotels?
I can send you a list even now. I have pre-reserved all hotels. I have very good prices, and I have to say that I have upgraded everything. We are mostly in 5-star hotels. I don't know why. I didn't expect it. I got good prices, and really, I want to reserve. I want to tie them. We have. I can tell if you writing, or I can send it to you written. For example, we have the Royal Olympic in Athens. Fantastic hotel, Royal Olympic. It's called. We have the Grand Hotel Palace in Salonika. In Salonika, especially because we spent 4 nights. I wanted the 5-star hotel that will have the spa, that will have, some facilities that 5-star hotels have, the inner pool, etc. And that you can a little bit rest, because we'll be traveling for some days, and then we go to Salonika and we stay for 4 nights. So we have a very good hotel in Salonika, Grand Hotel Palace, it's called, if you want to Google it.
You'll send it to me, Salvador, and
I will send it to you. Yes,
send me
yes.
the list and I'll.
What to say? The hotels are good. So for now, I think it's enough to say the hotels are good. I will send the list to your rabbi, and you will see it all.
I want to know if we need any special shots.
Shot?
And
Tequila? What's that?
can we drink the water safely?
Yes, is the answer, if we have to answer with one word. But I say No, better no. Why not take mineral? Sometimes people are more sensitive. It's a different water than the water your organism knows. We drink it in Greece. But if you're just visiting for 15 days, we have a law here. This is interesting to know. We have a law in Greece that protects mineral water only. The price of mineral water is protected by the government. So the big bottle costs €1 always, and the small bottle costs half a euro always. There's no reason to drink tap water. But if you need to, you drink it. It's no problem.
I don't think a visa is required, correct?
A visa
Yeah, visa.
to travel from America to Greece. No, it's not required. No.
Yeah, you're going, right, you're going to the European Union. You don't really need a visa. And the shots,
Yes.
things like that, as we get closer, the CDC will put them up on the website and we can look at that. Is the trip open to
Yeah.
non-Jewish folks? Why not? There are 22 of you on this. If we get to 25, I believe that's when the price point and we can reduce the price of the trip. So if all of you sign up and bring 3 more people, you can save $200 or something like that. So just keep that in mind because we set amounts. Yeah, if the trip is open to non-Jewish folks, it's open. Will we drive them crazy? I don't know. Is water on the bus? Yes.
The answer is it is open, but they have to be Jewish friendly, obviously. You understand what I mean?
That's
I
right.
mean, we will speak about Jewish history. If they are interested, many times non-Jewish people come to the tours. Of course, it's open. Of course, if you are open, I'm open.
Any other questions? They can only come if they have a Jewish sense of humor. I like that.
Good.
Any other questions? Miriam, have to unmute.
Are we going to go to the Parthenon?
Of course, yes. What question is this?
I'm
to bring the
asking
number
because
one.
it's goddessy, but I really want to see it. But I've also heard, at least in the summer, you can't get near it.
What you can get near? Today I was there. What do you mean? You know how many people come? Millions of people come to the Acropolis every year.
Yeah, I've heard it's so crowded you can't move. Maybe
Crowded it is. The same for the Louvre, the same for all of the big touristic places. It is, but look, they have put time slots. They don't allow enormous amount of people for every time slot. No, it's not enormous. I mean, if you go to the Uffizi in Florence, if you go to the Louvre in Paris, if you go, all the big, if you go to any very big site of tourism, it's full of people. It's like this. The Acropolis too. We'll have our tickets in advance and we'll get in like everybody. No.
Okay.
Not at all a big concern. Don't worry. It's okay. Today we have 41 degrees here. And we were out of the Acropolis, but we had our tickets. We got in very easily, fast, no problem. And the line to buy a ticket, it must have been 500 meters, seriously. But we have our tickets in advance always.
Okay. Any other specific questions for him? Because then I will go over the frequently asked questions that I've already vetted for him. It's Salvador's birthday, and his mother has invited him to dinner, and
Yes.
so I want him to be able to go enjoy his dinner, and I'll field the rest of the questions, and any of the other questions that I cannot answer, I did schedule another call next week. But if not next week, then at some point down the road, we'll answer all of them. Barb has her hand raised. Why don't you unmute? Barb, you have your hand raised. Do you have a question? So there's a question.
Yes, sorry. There's a museum inside the Acropolis that's closed on Mondays. I just want to make sure that we get to that museum because I missed it the last time I was in Athens.
You were before. Of course, you will go to the Acropolis Museum.
Yeah,
It's not
good.
you were
Thank you.
maybe 20 years ago, maybe you were, or earlier.
Yes, it probably was 20 years ago.
Yeah, because now it's not in the Acropolis anymore. It's not up on the hill. It's down the new Acropolis Museum, and of course, we will visit it.
So
Okay.
Salvador, they're asking for what happens if people get COVID. because this did happen on a trip to Morocco. We divided the group and we did our best to keep everybody safe. Probably wasn't,
Exactly.
but most of us kept going. To me, it was, I didn't want to leave anybody behind in Morocco. I'm not as worried about leaving somebody behind in Greece if I need to. We will make sure you have health insurance. We will make sure you're taken care of. Salvador, will you address that, the COVID issue?
Yes, look, first of all, the COVID is not as it used to be. There is no such a, I mean, it's not so popular anymore, COVID. If it happens, it looks very much like a cold now. It's the virus is not the same. It happens sometimes in groups. What we do is we divide and we quarantine. We change the tickets if we need to, the airplane tickets, I mean, and we do what the regulations say. But it's not so tragic anymore. You understand? Like, wow, COVID, someone has COVID. If someone has COVID, we deal with it. Like he has a cold, we separate the rooms, they get in quarantine, and that's it.
Betsy asked why 4 days in Saloniki. We arrived there, it's Shabbat. I want us to rest and not, the other days the other days of the beginning of the main tour, we're going to be moving every night. And for Shabbat, I want us to land in one place and rest and recuperate and feel like it's Shabbat. There's plenty to do there. As well, we have a 1 day optional day trip to Mount Olympus. Some people might want to go, some people might not, and might want to spend more time in Saloniki. So we land there to sort of catch our breath and do what's regional before we fly to Crete.
Yeah, we have another day trip also to Pella and Vergina, so and Veria.
You'll be
So
ready.
it's
You'll be ready.
we sleep in Salonika, but we don't spend so much time in Salonika. We go on trips.
Right. You'll be glad not to pack and unpack.
Yes, exactly.
Anybody else with a specific question? If not, Bob, you got a question? Linda? Any of those of you who haven't said anything? Susan Shine, I didn't know you'd be here. Rainey? Anybody who hasn't asked a question? You're good? Okay. Okay, Salvador, why don't I let you go, and then I will, I'll go over these questions with everybody. And
Very good.
you are going to send me the very specific instructions on how to pay. That's really what everybody wants to know. How do they do those 3 payments? We know how to do cash, but
Yes.
how will we make the first deposit and how will we make the second deposit?
Okay, I'll tell you now very fast, and I will send it to you written so you can forward to everybody, and it will be even easier. The first and the second. The third is cash, easy to understand. The first and the second can be any way. I mean, how can you pay? With a PayPal, with a credit card, or with transfer to a bank account. This can happen through, how you call those, many sites now that do this.
You can go to your bank directly and make a bank transfer.
Yes. But they have made it easier.
Or other
It's more
apps
difficult.
that do that, and I can walk you through some of that. PayPal,
Venmo.
Venmo, okay.
I see it here. Who? Venmo is okay. Venmo does bank transfer, but it does it more easily than to go in the bank and do it. The other, how you call it? I can't remember it.
So let me just answer the question.
Wire transfer.
Wire. Right.
Is another.
Why? Oh, Wire. Is there a discount if you pay?
Wise also.
Wise also?
Yes.
Okay. Is there
Yes,
a discount if you pay in cash? There's no discount if you pay in cash, but there's a surcharge if you pay by credit card.
Yes, it's the same thing. Yes.
Right.
We tried in order to keep the prices low. If you want to pay by credit card and you say, look, I don't want cash, I want credit card. Yes, you can do it, of course, you can do it, but there is an extra 24% for this final 1/3 of the payment.
Unless
You
it's
understand? Unless it's cash.
Unless it's cash, right. So you can
It's cheaper with cash. Let's say this.
It's cheaper with cash. That cash makes the world go round. Any other specific questions? So why don't we let you go, and then I will go over these other questions that have been asked.
Mhm.
Frequently asked questions. Thank you so much. Happy
Very good.
birthday. And
Thank you very much, Rayzel and
it's
everybody.
been a
Very
pleasure.
nice to meet you.
Birthday, Salvas. Woo!
Thank you
Happy
very much.
birthday.
Very nice to meet you. First meeting. I'm here. Michalis is here. When you have more questions, when you want second meeting, we do second meeting. When you want third meeting, we do third meeting, to keep everybody without question, without doubts, without anything. Okay, every blank spot, we will clear it and you'll be ready to join. Thank you very much.
That sounds good. Okay, so let me share this with you because there are other questions that we have not addressed, and I want to make sure we go over these. Can you hear them? So here's the payment. Can you see this, I assume? There will be a euro deposit. You can pay by PayPal. You can pay by credit card. You can wire the payment to the bank account, and they'll send you the necessary information to do that. So you just have to decide how you want to pay. You have options. And I sent this to, I didn't know all of you would be here, so some of you have not seen this. If you have not seen this, put your email in the chat and I'll follow it up with this after this meeting. Deposits go to the tour company, which is Jewish Greece is the name of the tour company. All other details resolve with the Jewish Tours Greece. That's logistical information. They can handle international tickets. So if those of you who don't want to search around and do points or pay for it out of pocket, they can book your flights. The trip actually starts Monday, March 3rd. If you need a hotel the night before, you have to let us know if you're just coming in just for a pre-night. But if you're part of the pre-trip in any way, it's included in your pre-trip. Okay. When is it safe time-wise to fly out at the end? The main trips in the morning of March 13th in Heraklion, Greece. The bus will take you to the airport, continue your vacation to fly home from Athens. Those that have taken the post trip will go to Santorini. It's supposed to be one of the most beautiful islands by 8 a.m. and it'll be at the airport around 8 a.m. And the post trip, those that continue to the post trip will finish on Saturday, March 15th, and a van will take you to the airport. So how will you be greeted at the airport? You'll take a cab directly to the hotel, and we'll get the list of the names of the hotels. Are there gyms? All hotels we will stay in required to have a gym. The pools, I believe, are the 5-star hotels. So we'll see what hotels he comes up with about the pools. Should we pay cash for meals on our own or credit card? Split. Both will work. We will divide the bill. Everybody pays what they want. Cash is faster. They split the credit card. The currency is euros. Okay, the exchange rate. Dollars are not accepted. Here's what I have done with euros. If you go to your bank before the trip and buy the euros here, you save having to change them at the airport where the rate is higher. You have to sometimes give your bank notice that they need to, you want $2,000 worth of euros or whatever you want, and they can get it for you. They just sometimes need some advance notice. I see 11 new messages in the chat. Okay, you come on Sunday. Can I on Sunday pay my way to dinner? Yes. These are all just your emails. Okay. I will send that to Deb. If we pay in full the first payment, is there a discount? I can ask him, Betsy. I can ask him. But unless you're going to pay cash, you're going to, that last payment where he's trying to save us the 24%, unless you pay cash, I don't know. So I will ask him that question. So let me go back to this. What kind of money we'll give at the ATM? Different exchange rates. Good to have Europe. ATMs in Greece, you will get euros, not dollars. Don't change in the airport. Athens is a better rate. Tipping culture is not the same. You're not expected to tip everybody. Here are the guidelines, the general guidelines. So if you don't want to be worried about tipping everybody who carries your suitcase and all this stuff, we can collect these tips in advance and have them pay everybody. There's a pharmacy with some distilled water for the CPAP machines. He answered, of course. A SIM card, you can get everything near the hotel in Athens. COVID mid-trip, there are regulations, but they're not that strict there anymore. If it's stated, option to walk the beachfront is lunch on our own. Transportation is not included for that, but feel free to wander. No Wi-Fi on the bus. They say that we have security precautions to ensure our guests are safe. Charge phones, some buses will have this, some will not. Let's say no, but let's say if we end up with 25 people, over 25 people and have a larger bus, it might be possible. Okay, so pay attention to this one. Can we bring one suitcase and one carry-on? Yes, but remember, during the trip, we will fly from Saloniki, he says, to Chania. And that flight, you can only have a suitcase that is 15 kilos maximum, okay? And a carry-on bag that's 8 kilos maximum. So those of you who haven't bought a travel weight suitcase thing, you can get them at TJ Maxx. Bottled water will be provided on the bus. It would be helpful to know when we're using a bus, how long the bus ride is. Every day on that first part of the trip, there's there is a bus ride. Will there be a bathroom on the bus? No, but we will stop to pee. I'm just giving you notice. We will. Will it be hot or cold? Too early to say. Weather in Greece has been unpredictable. Should have hats for the sun, outdoor activities, rain is possible. Bring a $1 poncho. Could be cold, it could be beautiful. Your guess is as good as mine. Certain tours, walking, standing, he went over us. Anything we should not do, don't give money to beggars. Tap water is drinkable. He said, drink bottled. Anything else to read in advance. He's given this. We will have interactions with the local guides and in the synagogue. Let me address this for a second. I said that to him that it was important for us we will meet with the locals in Thessaloniki. We're going to have dinner and go to synagogue and everything like that. If you come on the pre-trip in Athens, we'll go to synagogue and we'll mingle. Most of these synagogues are going to be Orthodox, so we usually end up sitting on the women's side. There's not that many people there. The smaller places that we will visit along the way, where there's like 9 Jews left and everything. One of the comments that I got when I said, can we meet with the locals? The pushback was they don't always like to meet with big American groups and be studied and there's not much community left in some of these places. We're going to see these communities, but we're probably not going to meet everybody in every community. So there will be touchstones along the way. And like Debbie said, as part of the interactions with people, is where we'll interact. There will be shopping time, adapters with a valid passport. You can stay up to 90 days in Greece. You don't have to. I see him, Miriam. I'll be there in a minute. Laundry. There at that 4-day stay in Thessaloniki, you can do your laundry. So you need clothes for about a week, maybe. Hiking, you can do casuals, vegetarian options. 1,500 euros, more than enough. Travel insurance, the voltage, food is safe, dietary alert. Okay, so that's the those are the questions that I already knew the answers to. Miriam, want to unmute?
Now, I don't know if this is a fair question or not, but we all remember, those of us who were on the Morocco trip, remember getting a scenic view of the top quarter inch of the rabbi's head on Shabbat and sitting in with the, the fuse box. And I'm wondering, do you have any idea if we'd be staring at a curtain and sitting with a fuse box? Or I don't mind being up high or being in a makitza, but put behind a wall doesn't make
Mimi,
it feel really just.
I'm going for the experience, okay? I'm not going for the most spiritual davening experience that I've ever had. If I want to do that, I'll go to an Aleph Kala. But I'm going to for the experience. I'm going to connect. I can sit there and meditate. I was just in Rome. I was also behind the Mechitza, but the sounds of those Romaniot Jews davening was otherworldly. And so I'm going for the experience. I'm going in India. We were also behind the Mechitza, and but there were other women there, and we talked to them. And at the table over lunch, there was a group of us who sat and told the new rabbi that was in town. It was his first weekend. Dan, we could not hear you. We could not see you. We were invisible there. And he was like, really? And so he got a lesson from us in the first 10 minutes of his job. So I say that sometimes it's not what we get from them, but it's what we bring to them that also makes this a different kind of trip. It's a spiritual mission in a certain way and we'll be blessing people along the way. Or in Spain, we said Kaddish at many places that, the Jews burned during the Inquisition. So whatever the land calls us to do and whatever the community and the setting calls us to do is what makes these trips more than just your basic see this, see that guided trip. And I cannot predict what those are at the moment. That's to me part of the mystery that unfolds along the way. Can you use your Visa credit cards? I would think so. I'm pretty sure you can. I'll give us, I don't think any of you saved the questions and answers you're reading. I'm going to send them to you, Linda, and I'll rework these new questions in here into what I send to you. Okay, any other question? Rainey, you had a hand up, or are you saying goodbye?
Say goodbye.
Okay.
I gotta say goodbye.
Okay,
See you guys.
all right. Anybody else with a question? Celeste?
I'm just curious about hands in terms of who's been to Greece before.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And why would you, 6, Shoshi, why would you want to go out? 7, why would you want to go back? Tell us why you want to go back.
Oh, I want to do Jewish Greece, but I have a lifelong friend who lives in Athens. So double draw.
Double draw. Anybody else who's been there before? Tell me why you want to go back. Shoshi?
Because I love going, I love traveling with you, and we always get to experience new things. That there's always something new around the corner. So, yeah.
Who else raised their hand has been there? Susan?
The first time I was in Greece, I was like a kid. I was like 23, 24. And I can remember the stops for the bathroom then, and I hope they're not like now. I mean, really, when he said, well, we'll just stop. And I'm thinking, oh my God, that was one memory. But there are places I'd like to revisit, and there were places that I haven't been to. And it's a Jewish trip, which is something I'm really looking forward to.
Barb, do you have?
Yes, I was there with my daughter who graduated from art school, and that was our trip. So I had a very artistic experience in several islands. I would love to have the Jewish experience. I felt like I felt like you could just leave me on a Greek island. I felt so at peace. The Mediterranean's so beautiful. We went to olive places. Of course, the food's amazing. Yeah, just the people were lovely, and the atmosphere is spectacular. It's one of the few places in the world that I would go back to.
Wow, okay. Anybody else been there that why they want to go back? I was there at the Athens airport one year. Linda,
I've been to Greece twice, once when I was a college student many years ago, and the second time in 2018. I went there with my daughter during her gap year travels throughout Asia and Europe. And I feel so drawn to the culture and to the place, and the people were always so warm and welcoming. And it was, both trips were really magical, and it would just be a whole different perspective to go with a Jewish group, and just get a sense of the Jewish history of the country.
great. For those of you who are in India, you know what I'm talking about. You know, we went to India with the war in Israel in the background, and it was very important, I felt, to connect to the Jews that were in a really remote and isolated places during that time. So that is also part of the mission. Betsy, you're right. So this meeting will be next week's meeting would be a basic repeat of this. You don't need to come again, unless you just need to hear things twice. And as registrations come in and other people who haven't seen this or might not watch a rerun of this meeting, I'll probably have a follow-up meeting. But he answered our questions pretty well, and I think we've answered everybody. Anybody else with a question or comment? And just, if you want to stay on a minute, and those of you who didn't introduce yourself at the beginning, and just tell me where you're zooming from and why you're interested, be glad to hear that. Susan Shine, I had no idea you were put your hand up here. You're thinking about it? Want to unmute?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, to be honest, Rayzel, I can travel now. I just lost my father a month ago, and so I thought, what can I do? And my parents love travel. I love travel, so, why not? It sounds like a great opportunity, but I'm not committed yet because I have, the timing might not work with my work schedule.
That's right, you have a job. That is correct. Anybody else? Lisa Ann, are you travelers? I usually think of you on a beach drumming somewhere. Can't hear you. Why can't I hear you? Turn your computer's volume up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's a problem with my external mic. Yeah, we are on a beach all summer, but March is not summer. I mean, we're on a beach all year. And anybody who wants to come to my beach, please do. We're on Long Island. But I am actually retiring from my day job at the end of August. So I can suddenly start traveling during the year, which is exciting. And Greece is at the top of our list. So I still have my my pulpit as a cantor, and I don't know if the dates are going to work. But it looks like they might. So we're seriously considering it. We'll see. So I'll know, I hope I'll know in a few weeks.
Fine. Let me just say this, again to respond to Miriam's comment about being behind the mechitza in an Orthodox synagogue. On every trip, usually I lead at least something, or we co-create a service. And in Spain, they threw me right into the pulpit, and I had to lead a service in the Spanish synagogue one night. So and in India, we led a service with the Buddhist monk. So it was. You never know what's going to happen. So it's not always about the experience in the synagogue that is going to make the experience interesting. Betsy, you have your hand up.
Yes, so this is a little crazy, but you'll get accustomed to hearing that from me. I have long wanted to go to Greece, and I had been thinking for some time that I would try to combine Greece and Turkey. When I saw this trip come up, I thought, oh gosh, yes, I want to be accompanied by Jewish people and do a little Jewish learning. And yes, is there any chance that you would want to add a week on, like a pre or post trip, an additional pre or post trip to Turkey, and take us to Turkey too?
I think, I tell you what, um, I was, the reason that this itinerary came out so late is that I had originally started planning Turkey. But the Turkey response to Israel, I just felt like I did not want to go to Turkey this year. Now, having said that, I just got this offer to lead high holiday services in Greece and Turkey on the islands that we're not going to here, Mykonos, Rhodes, Santorini, and Ephesus and Istanbul. So if you want to do that trip, it's not my trip. I'm going to go as the rabbi on the cruise ship. But if you want to do that, I can send you the information on that. It's not a Jewish trip whatsoever. I will get to Turkey one day, but I want the political situation to calm down first. And Barb Segura, who was on here, she just left. She and her sister are going to Turkey after this trip. So I could put you in touch with those two, and maybe you could just go with them. So you have several options if you want to do that. It's not crazy. Other crazy, Celeste.
Rabbi Susan asked the question about when a typical day begins and ends, and I'm curious too.
Well, we usually get up whatever time, and sometimes we take a soft morning, okay? But we usually get up, and so that the breakfasts are included at the hotel. If you don't want to get up, sleep through breakfast, come in at the last minute, grab a croissant, and just get on the bus. I'm not monitoring any of that. We were a little ambitious in India. We thought we would do yoga in the morning before the breakfast, but there was too much. It was too exciting to be in India and do that. So we let that go. So usually breakfast and get on the bus for at least those first Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, where we're really on the go. Shabbos will be much easier. Shabbos, and then and the pre-trip, I've tried to do afternoons so that we build up we get over the jet lag, and then we're ready to go that Monday morning. If that, so we'll go for a few days and then we'll rest.
Rabbi Rayzel, I don't think you actually said anything close to a time. For some people, breakfast is at 6 a.m. and for some people it's at 9 a.m. So what are we talking about?
It's more like 9 a.m. I'm not a 6 a.m. person. No, it's more like 9 a.m. I will double check that with them if you want me to, and I will correct it. But those days of the trip, we'll be on a bus, so bring a pillow, and nap on the bus while we're traveling. That's the other thing to do is traveling. It's not the best, but it seems to work. Deb.
You mentioned cash at the end. Does that mean cash in hand that we would pay him the final payment in dollars?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what it has to do with the Greek payment and taxes, that if it's over a certain amount, they double the taxes. So he's trying to save us that 24%. I mean, if you don't want to, you play the whole thing by credit card. It's that, if you don't care. So.
And that will be in euros?
That'll be euros. You get them from your bank in advance, or you can change them at the airport. But I would say get them in a bank in advance. Different branches have them. There's usually you'll find a bank, and if not, you tell them to order. You're going to need X number of euros.
I get mine from AAA.
Okay, that's a good tip.
Just wanted to pass that along.
Okay, Deb?
Did
Marcel.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about, what, I haven't been traveling at all. I have not been to Europe at all. This is, will be my first time, ever. So how much money do people take with them? Could people give me some kind of an idea of what, like,
If you read the itinerary closely, all breakfasts and hotels, all the touring stuff is included. I didn't want you to have to shell out every time we stood in line somewhere, and, you know, I wanted everything prepaid, so all of that. So, but breakfasts are included, and usually one meal a day. So you have to pay for one meal a day, and then the rest of it is how much will you shop? Okay, so the suggested is 1,500 euros, you know, a guideline, or take a credit card and just see. Like if you find a rug like I did in India and had no intention of buying, suddenly the trip became more expensive. But if you don't need any more tchotchkes in your house, you'll save more money. So it just depends on, you know, we're going to be we'll be seeing craft stuff, you know, that I don't know what they have in Greece. So this is whether you're a shopper or whether you're just going for the experience. Some of that is going to just depend on you. Yes, Celeste.
Could you please clarify, because I'm still not clear about that last payment being in cash? Can we give it to them at the time we arrive?
That's exactly what they want.
Okay,
That
so I
is,
don't have to worry about cash transfer or anything else.
that's exactly what
Okay.
they need, cash on hand, because then they can pay their, you know, they can pay their, some of the, like if we're going to dinner in a restaurant as a group, which we will be doing, they just have the cash, they can pay it there. I mean, their bus drivers and all that stuff will be paid for in advance, but the cash on hand goes to pay for things like that. Susan.
I just, am I mute? Okay, I'm on mute. I just wanted to say that you could check your credit cards before you leave, because some credit cards will not charge you a 3%. You're gonna get charged 3% on some credit cards if if you're buying something in Europe for the transfer of the money. I'm not being clear, but some credit cards don't. So check, so check before you go. I have one credit card that doesn't charge a fee and another one that does. So you should check before you go.
We will, before we go, we will have, once I know who's basically going or somewhere down the road, we will have another Zoom meeting that goes over basic travel tips and how to get there and what to pack and what credit, you know, those kind of things about the credit card and, you know, best bags to take, you know, that kind of thing. We will have a session on that as well to give everybody that kind of, but we don't need that right now until we know who's going. Deb.
just a thought, you know, if there are 25 people bringing cash, I wonder if there's a way to, you know, maybe send you money and you bring all the cash so that the person just gets one clump. Just a thought.
Just a thought. I think it'd be better if everybody brought their own, because if I show up with $30,000 in my wallet, I'm a little nervous of that or whatever it's going to be. You know?
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. But I was just wondering if there was a streamlined way to do this for them, not necessarily for us.
This is what they want. That's, you know, and you feel free to put the whole thing on a credit card or PayPal. It's okay. Susan.
Oh, no, I was just shifting. I'm sorry. I didn't have my hand up this time.
Okay. Any others? Anybody not? Meryl, you've been with us before. You got any questions?
I'm just wondering, you're saying the last third payment, does that go directly to the tour, or is it something we can do with Venmo and send it to it prior?
let's get the first deposit done and the second
Fine, yes,
deposit
okay,
done.
yes, I'm
And
gonna,
then we will worry about,
email
you
you,
guys are really
I'm
worried
gonna
about
email
the
you my
third deposit.
information and everything, so.
We'll figure it out down the road.
Also, one other question, if we do not have a roommate currently, will that be arranged or do we need to discuss it with the group?
I will put out, thank you. I will, if you're looking for a roommate, I'll put it out to everybody, when I send up a follow-up letter after this meeting, who would be looking to share a room.
Okay, thank you.
There's more people that aren't here today that I thought were coming, and then there were all of those of you who surprised me. So there's more people.
So August 15th, the early bird.
Deadline, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But if you pretty much know you're coming, go ahead and send me your registration form.
Is the deposit refundable?
No.
There's $100 of the deposit that's not refundable.
Okay.
But the other 400 is refundable up until November, I think it's November 1st. So yes.
And you did send out all that information that you shared on, because I don't remember seeing it.
I'm gonna send it to you again.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome so much.
And just while we're on the deposit, so August 15th is early bird, November something is
Yeah.
get some money. November, the deadline to sign up.
You have time, if August 15th, you have to let me know if you're going, because we have to book the hotels. You, right?
So final deadline for registration in that sense.
It's not a final, the registration will still stay open. I'm not going to take 50 people on this trip. So the first 25 that get in here are going, okay? So they should let me know by August 15th with a deposit and a registration form, even if you don't know your flights and everything. Yeah, okay?
I don't think I've gotten an enrollment form from you.
I don't think you did either, because I didn't have you, I'm gonna send it all. Do you put your thing in the chat? Yeah, okay.
I did.
I will follow
Thank
up
you.
this meeting with a follow-up letter to everybody. And I'll put this registration form in there and the dates and the things like that. Yeah. Susan, if pay your deposit now, but it is by August 15th, you have to have a deposit so we can book these hotels. And then if you're not going, I think it's November 1st, you can get that deposit back. Okay.
Okay. So
times up after August 15th, it's going to have a 500 euro deposit, and they can on November 1st I think they have the same thing. They can get 400 back. There's $100 that's non-refundable. That's the only thing that's non-refundable, because it's, just the time they've spent, et cetera. It's administrative time they've spent setting this up. But everything else is refundable till November 1st, I think, till the next deposit is due.
it's not like I'm loaded and I don't care about the 100. It's more the timing that I care about, because I have to figure out other things.
Right. Well, it's like this. You can if you don't want to put the 100 in, if you don't want to put the deposit down by August 15th, you can take your chances and just say, Rayzel, let me know when there's one more slot left, and then you'd have to make your decision. I would give you right of first refusal, but you'd have like 24 hours to tell me, kind of thing. I would do that for you, because I know you have extenuating circumstances and that you're here today and you want to go. Anybody else with the question? I am just delighted to see you all, and I'm very excited that we're going. We're going to Greece, and decide which goddess you want to be and bring her along for the trip. I'm trying to figure out when the toga party is going to be, and we'll we'll see where that ends up being. Bring your
So
toga.
is the hotel going to charge us if we take the sheets?
Yeah. Not if we bring them back.
I realize unless light note, are there any security precautions being taken?
Well, they're not going to put a guard on the bus with us. We're not hanging an Israeli flag out of the bus, right? And there's tourists in Greece all the time. So he said, when I asked him the question, he says, we take security precautions. I don't know exactly what that means. It means, you know, we stay out of certain neighborhoods, you know, that kind of thing. If you give me a suggestion of something that you would like, I can always ask him if that's possible or feasible. I mean, we were nervous in India and, you know, we just got lost in the crowd. So, you know, nobody paid us any attention. Miriam.
What we did is, we know a Greek family here in Boston, and they go, in fact, they're there right now. And they said, we asked them about safety and things like that, and they said it's extremely safe. Because for one thing, they make a gigantic amount of their general product for the whole country out of tourism, and they're very careful with people.
Good. Anybody else? Questions? I give you all a blessing for the day, and may we travel safely. May we all stay safe, get in shape. May it be a motivation to see and do and get out of your comfort zone. I would suggest researching travel insurance, makes, you know, in general, just to look. We'll go over some of that down the road. Okay. All right. Love you all.
Love you. Thank you.
Thank you. Did I answer all?
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, well, I'm pretty good now. Yeah. So for now, yes.
Okay. All right.
And I've got the itinerary.
So I'm already ready to start planning the next one. Just the fact that it's you all here, right now. Actually, let me turn this thing off. Hold on a second. Say goodbye.
Where are we going, Rayzel?
What a delightful group of people. We know that